This is pre-reading chapter 28, Alpha to Omega, Healing of the Man Born Blind, Part 3, adapted from John chapter 9. So we left off with the blind man, the once blind man, asking the authorities the question, you don't want to be his disciples too, do you? The answer, of course, is no, we don't want to. And he was expecting a no answer. Okay, so the Greek here is pretty straightforward. It gives us a good opportunity to focus on our case endings. Again, you're going to see me doing a lot of chunking, right? A lot of chunking. So here we have our first phrase, right? Right, like that. And this is very common in Koine Greek to introduce a direct quote with that word legantes. Okay. Now, this is where they start railing on this guy. All right, and we're just going to handle this little bit. This is the bottom of page 193. They just start railing on this guy because they really are just frustrated. They have no answer for how this man who was blind can now see. Okay, now don't confuse this word right here. Okay, don't confuse that word with the word whether or. Notice how it's accented. This is a verb form. It's a verb form. What verb is it from? Okay. Now, what does this case ending tell you? What case is that? You might be tempted to say this is genitive, but it's not. Remember that vocab. Okay. So, okay, you got nominative here, genitive here. Okay, and this is very derogatory. You brings it all the way forward to the front. And notice the contrast between you and we and de, right? Now here, another chunk, genitive. Okay. This is really part of a bigger chunk like this. This is really the chunk. Okay, there you see the nominative here, and it goes all the way back to this over here, right? Now we start a new sentence, and notice it starts with the accusative. Remember, don't try to take Greek in English word order. You'll get messed up. Okay. This verb is from oida, all right? Now, we'll talk more about oida in class, but this is one of our new verbs, oida, all right? So, not to let that throw you there. That's from oida, right? Now, this, of course, you've had before, right? That's from last chapter, 2 chapters ago. Here again, we have the word apokrythein. Get used to it. Apokrinomai in the middle means to answer. Okay, so apokrythe, very common in the Gospels especially, where we have some dialogue going on. Apokrythe, all right? Now we have another direct quote here. We have, this is actually a capital theta. Okay, and here, iste, this also is from oida, all right? And here is oida again, right? So they're drilling these forms this chapter, and that's obvious, right? Now, we do have a number of places where we have these indirect things, right? That's, oh, I'm sorry, that's not indirect. That's just never, all right? Now, here, too, what chapter 28 introduces, do you see it? Theta, sigma, passive, okay? Theta, sigma, passive, that is from chapter 28. Let's go on to the next page, 94. All right. And yeah, we'll just crank on it here. Okay, let me get it centered. There we go. But rather, this usually represents a 180-degree shift. So not this, but in complete contrast. Now, this word is below, theosebes. This is also an important New Testament word. The pious one or the reverent one, the pious one, theosebes, the worshiper of God is really. Next word again, here's our theta, here's our sigma, here's our passive, all right? Now here's a clue, tis, it has an accent, and there's a question mark. Okay, so not the indefinite, but the interrogative. Now, ek tu ionos. Now, how would we say this whole phrase in English, in modern English? Well, I think the easiest way you'd say it is, who in the world? It really says, who out of the age? Okay, but it really means, who in the world? Okay? Now, good chunking here. We have an accusative chunk. We have a genitive chunk. Okay, note the participle. Now, a lot of times Greek does this with the relative pronoun here. We just start the sentence. Okay, we have echo plus an infinitive, right? We have echo plus an infinitive. So you know that combination. But how would I translate the hus here? He who. He who. All right? The one who. This one. Notice its counterpart. Now, here's ukun. Okay, going back to our questions in chapter 26. Okay, what kind of answer is he expecting with ukun? Right? And there's my question. Here's apokrinomai again, here in the third plural, and it introduces another direct quote. All right, now, right. Okay, now we're looking here. Here's our clue from genao. This is a new word this chapter, genao. Okay, so here, now we have another theta and a sigma and a passive ending. All right, but notice it's a question too. They're not really looking for an answer, but ex ebalan kai autan, and they threw him out. Yeah, they just will not tolerate the word of God and the miracles of God. They threw him out of the synagogue. Now, was that literally? I mean, did they actually pick him up and throw him out? I don't know. They forced him out in some way. Whether it was completely physical or not, difficult to say. But now, in the next paragraph, the concluding paragraph here, yeah, I guess it's still recording. In the concluding paragraph, now as a follow-up, and good pastors follow up, Jesus, what kind of Jesus is he? He is a hoiron, and he is hoiron auton. Okay, so what kind of Jesus is he? Okay, that's a nominative participle that goes together. Okay, now a question, not expecting a yes or no answer. Okay, notice the person of the verb. Okay, notice the person of the verb. Now, pistoio always is followed, or very often is followed by the preposition eis. You believe in something. You don't just believe, but you believe in something. And so that's why we have this accusative direct object. Okay. Now, Jesus liked to call himself the Son of Man. Okay, here's apokrinomai again. Okay. Notice, direct question, accented, right? Aipan, know that second aorist form from Lego. Okay, you can't even see that. That's off the screen, sorry. Lego. Okay, Aipan. Now, this is really a neat touch, isn't it? this perfect tense here? Yeah, okay. So Jesus liked to talk from horao. Jesus liked to talk to him about himself in the third person. Okay? This whole phrase modifies ekainos. See, this is nominative, so is this. Okay? And here we have the formerly blind man speaking again. There's aipan again. Pistoio, Kyrie. Proskynesin. This verb, literally to bow the knee, we usually translate it as worship. All right, now here's aipan again. Okay. Now, why did Jesus come? Eis krima. Eis, where did I come? Okay. Eis krima ego eilthon, eiston kosmontuton. Okay, now we have a contrast of participles, don't we? Hamen blepontes, blepsontai, hode blepontes, genesantai, okay. So this is a strange form too. Okay, but you see here's the sigma, and this is from genao. Genesantai, will become is the way I would translate that. What will they become? Gifloi. All right. So pay attention to the tenses and the endings and the chunking here that I've provided for you, and you'll be fine. That ends the pre-reading chapter 28.